All right, we will call the April 8th Planning Commission meeting to order. First item is just confirming that we have all members here, but our township solicitor and township engineer are joining us remotely through Zoom. First item that requires a vote is the approval of the meeting minutes from March 11th. Does anyone want to make a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the March 11, 2025.
Is there a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We have 4 ayes. Motion carries. Onto the agenda, there is one change. The second item on the agenda, the 1500 Trexler Town Road, that item has been tabled at the request of the applicant. So the only item that we have today is the 2550 Route 100 proposed grocery store. Vince, if you'd like to give just a little overview, and then we'll have the applicant come up.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Barrett. Okay, so the sketch plan in front, the Planning Commission tonight is a plan that's proposing a grocery store. This is on the corner of Route 100 and the current unfinished portion of the Sauerkraut Lane extension. Give me 1 second and I can pull it up here. Okay. The proposed lot, as we see here, it's a single lot and it is shared by the St. Luke's Medical Office building to the west. And along with there's stormwater retention and basins in the middle to serve both properties currently, which also serve the medical office building. This lot is originally part of the Spring Creek Property Settlement Subdivision. And again, since this is a sketch plan in front of the PC for the first time, staff, township engineer, and planning commission members can offer their comments on the plan after the applicant has presented the project. So at this time, I'll open the floor to the applicant, and if you wouldn't mind coming up, introduce yourself, and we'll take it from there. And if I could just remind everybody just to pull the mics close so for the recording and people at home. Thank you.
They're on.
They are on. Yes.
All right. Hello. My name is Brent Tucker. I'm from the Pidcock Company. I am the project civil engineer. As Vince said, that we are proposing a 23,000 square foot grocery store, which will be occupied by the Sprouts Farmers Market. We have a representative from Sprouts with us here tonight. We prepared a little video. Probably the first item would be to watch the video. Sure. With the whole Sprouts franchise.
And Brent, thank you. Luke Jandal from Jandal and Company. We thought it was important for the Sprouts folks, and they were nice enough to be in attendance here tonight. But first to market grocery store to the Lehigh Valley. Maybe some of you unfamiliar with the brand. Vince, we shared a video with him, kind of a synopsis, 3-minute video of kind of get to know the Sprouts, of a recent store they opened up in Delaware.
It starts off with a little seed, and with a little love from nature, it sprouts to life. And when delicious fresh fruits and veggies are perfect, they are rushed to the home of fresh. Sprouts, where goodness grows.
There's another video. That's a 30-second commercial on Sprouts. You get a 3-minute video coming here shortly.
Hey, I'm Ashley Harder, and welcome to the Heart Feast. Here in Delaware,
We saw Sprouts opening here. We got excited.
Sprouts Farmers Market's newest store has popped up,
I'm very excited to be able to share our wide variety of products with Middletown.
and their reputation has customers coming in droves.
I was here for the grand opening and the line was not only out the door, but down the parking lot
And for good reason.
because people know that they're going to get quality food here.
Some come out for dietary needs,
I know there's a lot of options here, and also they label everything what's gluten-free and safe for me.
We're pescatarian, so we come here for our seafood.
while others shop for preference.
I keep coming back because they have what we want. We want organic food, we want vegan food.
Sprouts layout gives their customer an enjoyable shopping experience.
Everything's it's light, it's bright in here. You can find things very easily.
So at Sprouts, you can see clear to the back of the store right from the front door. It gives us that farmer's market feel.
And if you're a newbie, don't be overwhelmed. Sprouts employees are always ready to help.
You're going to come in, we're going to greet you, we're going to offer our assistance, suggest items, let you sample anything in the store.
This specialty store not only places emphasis on better for you alternatives, but a comprehensive selection of vitamins and supplements.
We're always introducing new innovative products in our stores. Every time you come in, there's going to be something
And
different.
a little treasure hunt.
It makes it a treasure hunt, yeah.
And aside from produce, their bulk department can't be beat.
You can buy a teaspoon of something or 2 pounds of cashews if you wanted to.
The store's commitment to providing fresh, high-quality produce has always been their standard.
Our perishable departments have the largest footprint in our store.
And it's evident through its partnerships with local farmers.
You want to be able to go to a grocery store where you can get that freshness.
Sourced by Kurt Pfeiffer from his 4th-generation farm at Pfeiffer Orchards.
It's almost like you went out in the field yourself and picked it.
Sprouts has expanded beyond their aisles and partnered with the Food Bank of Delaware.
Sprouts by far offers the most fresh produce. And that's one thing that we strive for at the food bank.
This collaboration aims to address food insecurity by donating surplus food and organizing initiatives to support those in need.
Just from Sprouts, we were able to feed over 155,000 families. When you can give somebody a broccoli or asparagus or a lettuce, it's a whole different ballgame.
Sprouts has quickly become a cornerstone for those seeking a healthy lifestyle.
You're going to find things here that you're not going to find elsewhere in Middletown.
And with the responses here from Delaware, it will continue to grow into something special. With the new locations popping up, it's easy to shop with confidence for your healthy lifestyle while enjoying a feel-good shopping experience. To find a Sprouts store near you, visit sprouts.com/stores. I'm Ashley Harder. I'll see you next time right here on The Heartbeat.
This is the quickest way to clear out stuck poop.
I have to poop.
YouTube for the win.
No, I'll say, we've been working with the Sprouts Group for many years now, actually, in selling turkeys. The family's been working with them. They're conscious about where they buy the turkeys. I wanted to, point that out up to their CEO. Tom can talk about it from the Sprouts perspective, but they've got over 400 stores based out of Phoenix, opened in 2002. And they're conscious about where they source their meat from, where they source their produce from. And it's evident when our family farm works with them. We're selling our turkeys nationwide with them now. So it's a great partnership.
So regarding the plan, as Vince had previewed, we are proposing this use on the 14-acre tract known as the Rummick tract that already occupies an MOB. So we'll have 2 principal uses on a single lot that is permitted by the zoning ordinance. This property is part of the Spring Creek Property Settlement Subdivision, so those ordinances that were in place at the time govern on this tract. So it's the zoning ordinance of 1998, I believe, not the current ordinance. Site circulation is site access would be from Sauerkraut Lane Extension. Not yet there, but this site relies on that being constructed. That will be constructed prior to opening. Still in the HOP process, about to be issued. Site, we are also connecting the rear access drive, as you can see on the plan, so that we will have access to both the Shannick Road intersection and the Sauerkraut Lane intersection with Route 100. That will allow us to help with the truck circulation, even though we're only anticipating maybe one truck a day. It's not a big user for semis. There would be other delivery trucks, single unit trucks, but maybe only one semi a day on average. Still helps the truck circulation there, backing into the loading area at the rear of the. I think we proposed 211 parking spaces, 94 required, so well over the required parking. The traffic is provided by the Spring Creek Properties Settlement Subdivision Traffic Study approved by the township and also approved by PennDOT as part of the HOP improvements to Route 100 and Sauerkraut Lane intersection, but also Shannon Road intersection. HOP permits. So this configuration here with the MOB and the grocery store fit under that traffic that is included. Obviously, will comply with the township landscaping, lighting requirements. As I said, the loading area is in the back of the building. Trucks are anticipated to be on the back access road, back into loading area from there for now. As the area in the middle builds out its future development, there'll be more opportunities for an alternate truck route to loading dock. But it should work. Plenty of room. Room to maneuver a truck back. Yeah, so stormwater. This plan is really a culmination of a lot of stormwater planning that's happened as part of the Spring Creek Property Settlement Subdivision and discussed with the township. And it's been done in sort of micro phases until we get to this point. So there are, I think, 3 basins out there now that manage some portion of runoff under feet. What we're proposing to do is to take the stormwater from this 14-acre tract in its entirety and discharge that to new stormwater facilities to, if we call Route 100 north-south, to the north of the site, sheet 2, on the former Gaddy property, and discharge, over control our rate, over control our volume, and discharge to a channel that's fed by the large discharge pipe that exists from Ancient Oak South. Ancient Oak South storm sewer comes down Columbine Street, discharges across Route 100. We would be discharged in the same channel, but our stormwater management will be provided from here. And what that does is avoid discharging to a number of closed depressions that we see along Route 100 to the south. It all gets to the Little Lehigh. We're in a 50% release rate area for the Little Lehigh Creek. So stormwater management plan have to comply with the NPDES requirements to create a post volume. So it'll all be modern design, design concepts will be applied to these basins, even though maybe we're only bound by ordinances from 2010. We're going to follow the current rules. Really, we have to. Any questions?
So just so I understand that part correctly, the current storm basin that is there is eliminated and moved across,
That's right.
across what used to be Quarry Road,
Yes.
what we're seeing there.
So those 2 basins there you see in the plan view, those would be.
Right, and then eventually that middle space there would be developed soon. All right, so we were asked for questions. What do you guys have?
My first question, I think you already answered it, but it's planned to have the extension done before the stores open, correct? Okay. I know you don't have to follow the most current zoning ordinance, but I do get concerned about the headlights from the parking lot going to the neighboring properties to the north. Is there any buffering planned for that?
Yeah, we can put shrubbery along those head-on spaces. Eliminate the headlight.
Yeah, I think it's a balancing act too, because to have visibility of the Sprouts, important to them, ease of access coming into the site. A balancing act, but we'll definitely take that into consideration.
Do you feel it would be similar to what's at MOB right now?
It's a pretty similar, yes.
I mean, that has some light shrubbery, a fence.
Yeah.
Same concept.
And I don't know if you've gotten this far yet, but what are your ideas on the signage? Again, for the neighboring properties. I'm assuming you have illuminated or internally illuminated signage on the building itself. And
That is correct. I don't know if we have a nighttime view, but you've got elevations.
Like, you know, put the elevation.
You can show the elevations. It's daytime elevation, but they'll be internally illuminated. And then, yeah, we have a monument sign along Sauerkraut and Route 100 there.
while you're pulling those up, what are your hours of operation? Every day?
I believe the Sprouts, Burbage, Farmers Market's internally illuminated. So that, the Jandal family, this is a build to suit, so the family will build and own the facility, and Sprouts will be a tenant of ours.
It's not shown there, but I think it's on, or maybe it's not on these either. There is street lighting, correct? Like parking lot lighting.
Parking lot.
Yeah,
lighting,
sorry, I misspoke there.
Yes,
Parking lot lighting,
definitely.
yes. And I know it doesn't need to conform to it, but that would, you may have said it, that it would be dark sky compliant, or did you not say that? Maybe I'm hoping that you said it.
We're not-
Okay.
We need people to speak into the mics, please.
Can you clarify, again, you mentioned you are targeting 211 parking spaces, only 97 are required. So it sounds like there's additional space for buffering around the loading docks, around the trash compactor areas. So can you explain why the additional spaces, and are you planning to add more buffering around the areas where the road could see some of the
Yeah,
trash?
the additional parking spaces are just needed for the functional use. So the Sprouts users needed more spaces.
How about green space? Is that considered additional green space?
Yeah, I believe the plan does have a lot of green space. You got 10-foot wide islands, got the large, you've been seeing that rendering there, nice island on the entryway. There will be, it's not going to be total as the future development builds out. There will be island separated for definition of parking areas and such. We have a 15-foot buffer from the rear line. So yeah, they do have a lot of green space.
And I believe there's a parcel 2 that's still open for development. What are the plans for that?
We're still under the planning phase on that. That will be coming. It'd either be a combination of a couple buildings, maybe one long strip building, but we're really just getting that going now.
And going back to some of the questions you talked about traffic. So I'm assuming the traffic impact assessment has been done for during peak traffic hours. And then you mentioned, again, estimated semi truck once a day. So can you talk a little bit more about the traffic roads coming in and out, given the hours from 7 to 10 p.m.? Are there time restrictions for deliveries? Other ways that you're kind of thinking of managing the traffic coming on and off of Route 100, Sauerkraut Lane?
Yeah, I think principally sorry.
No, you're good. I'll turn the room down.
I guess it works, man.
I'll turn the room down. It's better for these guys that, better for Brian.
The accesses are off the side street. I think that's one principal improvement here. We're not accessing directly Route 100, but we're accessing the side street. So there's ample queuing at the driveways that's on the side street, which is principally what you see for a use that would have an intersection to Route 100. So as far as Route 100 corridor goes, it's a very efficient way to design a site. The traffic studies have been previously approved by PennDOT Township to include the traffic for both of these uses.
What was
It's
the
all been planned for.
state of those? What was that done?
So Spring Creek Property Settlement Subdivision was 2010-ish.
So it's, again, a significant time period.
It is, yeah.
growth, Given the question.
Well, yeah. I live about a mile and a half from here in Farmington Hills. I'm always surprised as I drive by here and have my engineering hat on about the absence of traffic in this corridor. Really planned for a lot of growth. I believe really hasn't happened along the corridor. I think this use maybe start that growth trend, but without the Sauerkraut Lane extension, we really haven't seen that growth in my opinion. But PennDOT has approved the traffic studies. I think the intersection at Shannick is mostly it's on actuated signal most of the time. So really not seeing the volumes it needs to even run its own program. So I don't see any traffic issues.
I have a question about, have you considered pedestrians, like, neighborhoods walking here? Have you considered any sort of walkways?
Sure, as part of the PennDOT improvements and doesn't show greatly on that plan, but there is a sidewalk plan for adjacent to Route 100 that runs down Sauerkraut Lane extension. And then in our site, bring that sidewalk to the Sprouts and continue along that back driveway to provide sidewalk to the uses. And I think that's your major pedestrian route from Farmington Hills across Sauerkraut Lane to the development.
So it's in front of the building and also takes you all the way to the back. And are you saying there's also?
So if
one-
you can see the hatched area, right? Right adjacent to the road. There's
Yes.
kind of a stippled area. That's
Yep.
sidewalk. Yep. So
Correct. So
sidewalk.
all along there will be
Yeah,
a
all
path.
along there.
Great.
Yeah.
Or is there a sidewalk all the way along Sauerkraut?
I would believe as part of a township street that would have sidewalk, but I'm not 100% sure.
Sauerkraut Lane, yeah, I mean, here it shows it,
Here.
here's it showed, but once it gets past this current development, does it?
I'm not sure sitting here.
Okay.
And also, we'd have to check the Sauerkraut Lane extension plans.
Yeah.
I know the sidewalk comes up so far from Quarry Park.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the connection point is. If there may be, I don't want to talk at a turn, I'm not sure.
I mean, in the concept of improvements, I mean, having a local grocery store is a nice improvement. But so would having a path that takes you directly to Quarry Park. So, yeah, I'm hoping that is in there. I know that's been long decided, but if that's in there. I think that would be a major benefit to all residents. And, this spot included. I have a question for the representative from Sprouts. So what does a typical visit look like? I mean, I know what a big grocery store where you go there, you have a list of all the things you want. Is this mostly someone that comes in and, all right, I needed fresh strawberries, or I'm coming in to get one item, two items? Is it mostly a small purchase, or do some people come and do their entire shopping here?
I think we are more of a specialty market. We do offer items that cover the full array of what's in your pantry. We really hang our hat on our produce and our fresh departments. And then we have alternative items. So we tailor to gluten-free, all different vegan, paleo. And we clearly mark those on the shelves. So that's really, we try to differentiate those markets. But really produce is where our business. And then we offer alternatives or even all pantry items. So we can operate as a regular.
Yeah. So it's someone, if they're looking for your specialty, it's someone that's maybe making an evening of visit. All right, I needed this ingredient, this fresh ingredient, you know, it's something that they want that for that day. It's a lot of quick visits or.
I guess that's a tough question to answer. We do have people who primarily shop with us. We tend to be more of a second.
A secondary, you said? Meaning like they go to the another grocery store for their bigger items and then these are just for the smaller items?
So the customers that we generally interact with shop primarily with us because you have dietary restrictions or needs. But for the everyday consumer, you take over and buy all your fresh produce. Buy your.
Got it.
Another way of thinking about it, your competitors, I think of Fresh Market, right? It's a smaller, specialty type of store, similar to that.
Yeah, very.
So that type of, you
Yeah.
could probably get it.
Got it. Sure.
Nice. And the turkeys, and the turkeys. Can't forget the turkeys.
Great. What other questions do we have?
I don't have any more questions, but I just want to say looks like it's a very appropriate use for the site and excited.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's obviously something that's for the number of years trended in the direction of people want fresh food and organic food. And seems like a great spot for it. There was no specific answer on how long until sauerkraut is done, but is there any update on that? Obviously, you'll need that for this project, but is there any time frame that you can give us?
Yeah, the ICIT is the group that's doing the HFP for us, and it's been going for a while, but they're finally making really great headway. The last thing was just an issue with the Quarry Road right away that had to be dedicated to the township, which kind of, those type of things with PennDOT, they make it way too difficult. But we have our attorney, Joe Zaders, already went through the opinion. He's been sharing them with your attorney, Solicitor Fisher. And they're ready to resubmit, should be happening any day now. They'll get a final resubmission to PennDOT. And I'm eternal optimist, so I'm hoping within 1 or 2 cycles, 30 to 60 days.
So we'll likely see that built well in advance of this project, as it sounds like it's in the near future.
Yes.
And so that would probably be before this starts. Which brings me to my next question is, what is, in a perfect world, what's a time frame for this project?
Well, depending on how long you guys are going to take that. Just kidding. Land development, of course, NPDS permit, Rocco, they're ahead of the HOP, which is usually the longest lead item. So, that's, I'd say based on where we're at right now, it could be, 24 to 36 months for opening.
Okay. Anyone else? Vince, any comments?
Yeah, if there are no further comments from the planning commission, before we turn it over to, I will ask the township engineer to make any comments if he feels. But I just want to let the planning commission know that this is a unique project, only because it is from a previous subdivision, and it will be unique in the review as well because we're referring to non-current ordinance, right? So we're particularly not holding this project to the standards that we would for a new development. However, we're hoping to work with the Jandal team to maybe get work on some of those nuances that we do require now in our design guidelines, and maybe they would be amendable to certain items, putting them in as as we continue down this path. So, but technical wise, I'll turn it over to Brian McAdam, township engineer. If you want to make any comments, Brian.
Thanks, Vince. I had a series of kind of observations, and I had traded emails with Brent earlier today. Frankly, with the presentation the gentleman put on, my questions have all been answered. I was primarily concerned about stormwater management and, what standards they would be, doing the design to. The question about, that everybody's got as far as when is Sauerkraut Lane Extension going to be opened? That's been answered, the use, what's going on the site. Are there other, is there other development proposed in between the MOB and the Sprouts? Pretty much, I see this as being, with the exception of the fact that the connection, the primary driveway is to an unfinished road. And the stormwater management has a long history, so to speak, that I'm sure Brent and the folks at Pidcock will put together a nice summary for us with the land development design and submission. Those are the two, not concerns, but the biggest issues really with this. The rest of it, to me, it's pretty straightforward. It's a nice little, kind of unique grocery store. I don't see any reason to think that this will be a difficult process. We've worked with Pidcock enough in our time in Lower Macungie that I'm sure that we can keep things moving smoothly once the application comes in.
All we've got.
I do have one question. I just thought of. Because I think, Gaius made a good point about hiding the loading dock and everything. And I know the MOB base is 100. What was the design motive for facing towards Sauerkraut?
Our primary access is off of Sauerkraut, so the thought was that most of the parking is on the north side, primary access off Sauerkraut. So really the Sauerkraut Lane extension is the front door. And we're not accessing from Route 100, although it's proximate that you can see the signage in the building from Route 100. So yeah, that does put the building on the loading dock on the south side, but the loading dock has a retaining wall adjacent to it, and that will serve to hide the stuff you usually see on a loading dock isn't going to be visible. That's going to be behind a wall, a screen wall. Sprouts is very careful there. They have a composting area that's enclosed by fence, very conscious of what that might look like. Has worked hard on this plan to make sure that it's fits in with the building.
Do you have a rendering of the 100 side? I feel like that rendering you showed us is probably from the northwest corner.
Is that in the back?
It could have been the second page. There was two visuals. Yeah, the perspective you saw was at one Sauerkraut looking towards.
Yeah. So this is towards Sauerkraut, right?
Yeah, you're on.
Yes.
That's more so kind of the intersection. Yeah, we don't really have a visual.
We do have the one, we'll have a sign though on that side to capture the Route 100 traffic, so they see that.
The monument sign?
Yes. And not wall sign, building sign.
Building sign.
Yeah, the only pylon sign, monument sign we'll have on Sauerkraut.
You said there will be a monument sign?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
this
well-
sign, sorry, not to cut, but this sign right here, that's facing 100, right? That's
Yeah.
a wall sign facing.
Okay. And what we like to do is, as the engineers get going, I'll come in with a sign package. So be your zoning officer, we'll see how that fits in. And I don't like to run the signs with the land development, so we may do it concurrently, but that's something that we could probably go through before we get further along in the design process. The other question was a really good question, is why is our front of house facing sauerkraut? And we went through that a lot. We've been working with the Sprouts design team, and there's certain things with the grocery store, you want your main parking lot outside your front door. So when you're coming out, you see your main parking. But just the way the site is, that it worked a lot better. So we did face Route 100, then the loading gets a little difficult. And another thing was unique, and I liked it, is Sprouts has a criteria that the tractor trailer isn't driving in front of the store or through the front parking lot. Tractor trailer comes in the back, gets its work done.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Out of curiosity, and this is in regard to the current discussion about the loading dock area. Would it be possible to maybe throw in some evergreens along the south curb line behind the loading dock? I think until something comes in the middle there, I assume there's going to be some measure of some amount of a grass strip in between. And I kind of, hearing the planning commission concerns, I wonder if it wouldn't be helpful to have a row of, I don't know, arborvitaes or some evergreens in that area, to, help ensure that the view from Route 100 is that you're not looking at a loading dock area. I did hear that there's a wall, and I did play some of the videos earlier. I do get the impression that Sprouts is very conscious of environmental things and healthy, environmentally conscious business model. I don't have any concerns with that, but I just think, like I said, in hearing the planning commission's concerns, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to throw some evergreens in there adjacent to the curb line, just to help provide a little bit of a visual buffer until the middle gets done, or even keep them there after the middle gets done.
Yeah, Brian, I think that's a good idea. We can build that into the plan.
Thank you.
I don't know if there's anyone from the public. I think we have a journalist here, so no comments that way.
I do have one more before we,
Okay.
just on while we're still on the, the facade. So as much as the township understands that we are, under a pre-existing land development and an ordinance, we would like to see, and I know that Sprouts again, I did look online, and I know Sprouts does have a model for their exteriors. But we would be, we'd be looking to see if the Jandal team and Sprouts could work with us on the facade on the 100 side. I don't know if there's any kind of, alternate facade or any kind of anything like that that would maybe, maybe enhance that side of it, right? That side on the 100 side. Just again, what it appears from this rendering is, a flat block wall with a wall sign, illuminated wall sign maybe. So again, understanding that you do have a model to follow, we'd just like to see if there was anything that we could work with, the Jandal team and Sprouts on that.
Nope, definitely. We'll talk to the Sprouts folks. We'll talk internally, see what we can do.
Okay, yeah, that'd be great. One only other comment I had, again, trying to stay with our design guidelines that we have now. Was there any outside seating or any plans for any like gathering area, or is that part of Sprouts model, anything like that?
Generally just along the front facade, but seating area.
Okay.
And I'm sure you've already done this, but a comment regarding turning access for emergency, how has been looked at? 'Cause it looks kind of tight up in there.
No, those all work, and we'll prove that out with the preliminary plan.
Again, I think that's really the general comments we have right now during the sketch plan phase. So we appreciate the renderings and all the plans that the applicants provided tonight for us, for our feedback.
Yeah, definitely.
you.
An
Thank you.
overall positive review, so thanks, appreciate it. All right, as mentioned earlier, the second item was tabled at the request of the applicant. a brief note, we are looking for an additional member of the planning commission. So if anyone is interested or knows someone that might be, please have them apply. Vince, have we had any applicants?
Not at this point.
Okay. So, any other updates as far as projects that we've looked at and have moved on to the commissioners?
There has not been, not from the planning commission at this point. Well, we did, we received two resubmissions already today, and we're expecting another resubmission for a project tomorrow. So I foresee that we should have a pretty full agenda next month.
Sounds good.
One item to note was a project that was in front of the Board of Commissioners. That was approved. It was was called the Mack Trucks Depot Properties, also called Truck Movers. It's on the corner of Albertus and Orchard Road. They have submitted a modification of plan, and it went to the Board of Commissioners workshop, and it's a minor modification. They're proposing a phase project instead of coming in and doing the entire project start to finish. Mac is proposing a phased project in order to give them some room for parking of some existing vehicles. As they come off the line, they may need a couple parts. And right now you may see them driving around the township, parking at different areas of the township. So they're proposing to phase the project so that they can utilize the parking area to house some of these trucks. And they're right then across from the facility. Would take some traffic off the township roads in that vicinity, because they are having a big push to push Mack trucks off the line prior to 26 or 25 and 26, so prior to 27. So that will be back in front of the Board of Commissioners. I'm not sure which agenda, but we put it through as just a minor modification. But other than that, that's what we have going on right now, and I guess it'll probably have a more robust agenda next month.
Sounds good. All right. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Is there a second? All right. All in favor, say aye. Aye. For a vote. We are adjourned.
Good night, everyone. See you next month.
Good night.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Brian.
All right.
Mark.